9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. We have Djibouti goes green with solar farms in the free trade zone. UN Antonio Guterres sounds alarm as a Palestinian economy in pervish at risk. Welcome to our newsroom. In anticipation with the 41st extraordinary session of the IGAD Assembly of Head of State and Government, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mr. Moussa Faki, landed today at the international airport of Djibouti at the end of the morning. They welcomed with warm protocol by the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Ulufa Ismail Abdo. President Faki was taken to the VIP lounge of the airport. Present during this official meeting, the ambassador of Djibouti in Addis Ababa, as well as the representative of Djibouti to the African Union, Abdi Haibe, shared this crucial moment with the other senior executives. During the exchange, President Faki expressed his gratitude for the warm welcome extended to him in Djibouti and stressed the importance of strengthening collaboration between nations to address the common challenges facing Africa. Delegations from IGAD country flock to Djibouti to participate in extraordinary summit from IGAD to Djibouti tomorrow at Kempinski. The delegation from South Sudan, led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, James Peter Morgan, is at the beginning of the evening at the international airport of Djibouti, where he was welcomed by the Minister of Communication in charge of Post Telecommunication, Radwan Abdullahi Bahdoun. After the welcome, the Minister of Communication, Radwan Abdullahi, had a first interview in the VIP lounge with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of South Sudan in the presence of the delegation which accompanied the Minister. Welcomed the delegation from South Sudan, who thanks for the welcomes. Discussions were extended to cooperation between the two countries, Djibouti and South Sudan Island, through a varied relationship in many areas that ways and means of strengthening advantage. After its official launch by the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, the third edition of the Djibouti International Fair continues at the Red Sea World International Exhibition Center, located on site of the old port of Djibouti. This year's fair brings together hundreds of exhibitors, thousands of visitors and exhibitors from more than 16 different countries, confirming Djibouti's place as a commercial crossroads. The RTD of Djibouti is not left out, since it has also set up a stand to offer its advertising and digital services to anyone who will listen. During this 3-day full of twists and turns, the fair welcomed with its words Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed, who had come on the people to visit the various stands erected on this occasion and to express his support and that of the government to the local and foreign company. The latter is accompanied by several members of the government, including the Minister of Communication in charge of Post Telecommunication, Radwan Abdullahi Bahdoun, the Minister of Environment, Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa Halim, was welcomed on his arrival by the President of the Chamber of Commerce of Djibouti, Yusuf Musa Dawale, and his team. The ministerial delegation was able to soak up the atmosphere of the event site, which is in the third edition. Dozens of operator, private and public companies take part in this international fair. It is also worth noting the presence of the stand for the CF company was created as part of the sectoral housing policy adopted by the government of Djibouti, which is primarily aims to establish and improve living environment and guarantee access to decent housing for all. CF has therefore become the main player in land development, the first authorized public institution operating in this area. CF is today on new momentum, aiming to initiate even more efforts to facilitate development projects and valorizations of the fragmented lands with the aim of to respond to the demographic dynamism. We are going to highlight in this Friday's edition the stand of the company Dawale Construction EDC, which has an upcoming real estate project in Balbala South on strategic locations. This construction project is made up of 215 F3 type villa and 494 F4 type villa. There was an initiative dedicated to promoting national development, the Djibouti International Fair, serving as a major exhibition platform for our country on the key assets of its multifaceted economic provisions and potential. The President of the National Assembly, His Excellency Dileita Mohammed Dileita, continues his missions in the United Arab Emirates by initialing the Memorandum of Understanding and Cooperation with the International Parliament for Tolerance and Peace, represented by Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Qarwan, former President of the Arab Parliament. This international parliamentary institution, which today brings more than together more than 15 countries around the world, is an international platform dedicated to tolerance and the spread of peace, as well as noble human objectives, and was created in November 2017 in Valletta, Malta. Its main mission is to disseminate the culture of tolerance and peace in order to address the issues of contemporary world peace through its various components, such as the International Parliament for Tolerance and Peace, the Assembly General for Tolerance and Peace. Thus, the National Assembly of the Republic of Djibouti has been a member of the August institution since December 7, 2023. Still on the sidelines of the work of the COP28 in Dubai, the Minister of Energy in charge of Natural Resources, Younes Ali Gedi, ratified last Wednesday the accessions of the Republic of Djibouti within the African Green Hydrogen Alliance. Indeed, the alliance constitutes a platform for leadership, collaboration and exchange between African countries with high potential in renewable energies and developer of a green hydrogen production project. It facilitates cooperation between member of countries and support them in the area of developing public and regulatory policy, building capacity and skills financing project, issuing the certification necessary for green hydrogen project. It currently brings together African countries such as Egypt, Kenya, Mauritania, Morocco, Namibia, South Sudan, and finally the Republic of Djibouti and Nigeria, which joins today. The President of the Port and Free Zone Authority, Abubakar Omar Haddi, the Director General of the Sovereign Fund of Djibouti, Slim Feriani, as well as the Director of New Termis, Ms. Tassa Anvaripur, signed an electricity purchase contract yesterday at the Hotel International Escale. This contract concretizes the creations of 2 solar parks within the free zones to meet sustainable energy needs, in particular for cold and chain logistics energy needs, as well as the irrigation system of the hydroponic farm. This agreement marks a concrete step towards the Djibouti 2035 visions by integrated environmental friendly practices in free zones and industrial parks. This energy transition at PICA 23 is not limited to simple symbolism. It positions the free zones as a precursor of green industrializations by reducing carbon emissions and adopting sustainable practices. This crucial advance demonstrates Djibouti's leadership in promoting renewable energies in Africa as part of the green industrialization. Still in the news feed, we move more on the commemoration day of the International Anti-Corruption Day, which was organized by the President of the Independent National Commission for the Prevention and Fight Against Corruption, Madam Badria Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, who delivered a speech on this event. The flagship show of RTD Jeep Talent is still continuing. Last night was the 4th evening where 8 mixed candidates were in the running of the selections of the 2 best voices as part of the selection criterion on the second phases of the reality TV, which fascinated the public in the capital of the interior region and the Djiboutian diaspora, which follows the live on Channel 4 and on our social networks. After a short selections, the 8 candidates from the capital and 5 regions of the interior were decided to the jury, and the vote by the votes of the publics by SMS through number 34920. The selections of the best works was supervised as usual by the Bashit Abdullah Bailif Abdullah Malik and the representative of the 5 jury, the artist Aidrus. And for the 4 selection evening, 2 best voices were selected. There are Hassan Muhammad Hassan from the Tajura regions and Omar Yusuf Omar from the Dakhil region. Results announced live by the bailiff at the end of the evening, hosted by Mariam Ali and Hassan Omar.
quruxda bilan kaana lacsaday jiriiri cadan damqaday qodxaa igu wada jabee.
As part of the prestigious competition entitled Jeep Talent, organized by the RTD on collaboration with the Ministry of Youth and Culture, the inhabitants of the capital in the 3 communes followed in live the evening of the 16 finalists in the different CDC, friends and families, members, young prodigies were all present to bring their unwavering support in a festive atmosphere. The Jeep Talent competitions, which is a far RTD show broadcast live being followed everywhere in the capital. The flagship emission followed in the regions of the interior. The force of the Jeep Talent show was followed in the 5 interior regions, whether the neighborhood of the CDCs of the chief places. The population has followed the live screening, the broadcast in the sector. Listener watched the first evening of Jeep Talent broadcast thanks to the radio. The patience and engagement of the spectator and listeners was palpable, lasting all evening. Some followed to order a majority of young presented in the Community Development Center in the 5 regions. So to broadly monitor these fascinating competitions, the show was followed on the big screens, capturing live the collective enthusiasm to the selections of Emerging Talent 2023-2024 arouses young people. These gatherings are also an opportunity to build a relationship, share emotions, and above all, to actively support the favorite candidates. Spectators do not just observe, they become actors by sending the text message voting vital for the progress of the candidates in this artistic competition. The Dakhil Regional Council yesterday hosted a mobilizations and awareness meeting on the fight against malnutrition among children and those under 5 years old. This event brought together elders, women leaders, and community health workers from 9 rural localities far from the capital, Dakhil, or isolated and sometimes without health posts. Under the patronage of the Ministry of Health, the meetings is organized by the NGO Peace and Milk in partnership with UNICEF and IFD. The meeting was attended by the President of the Dakhil Regional Council, Mahad Hussein, and the Sub-Prefect, Yusuf Ali, as well as the Chief Physician, Dr. Jama. They thanked UNICEF, IFD for the financial support provided by for these important operations, and the NGO PLA for its support in supervising community health workers. The latter successively encouraged the participants to mobilize and raise awareness among pregnant and lactating women in their respective localities. That our mobile team from the Dakhil CM Aisha will soon come to provide them with the malnutrition screening and adequate medical care. For the international scene, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned yesterday of a total collapse of law and order soon in Gaza, which could have irreversible consequences for the Palestinians as a whole and for peace, security in the region is fighting raged again on Thursday in and around the largest towns in the Gaza Strip. In the south, hundreds of thousands of civilians have missed since the start of the war. near the closed borders with Egypt, fleeing the fightings in the north and facing a catastrophic humanitarian situation. The Palestinian economy will be severely affected by the current conflict in Gaza, not only due to the distractions, but also to the limitations of movement on both sides, the International Monetary Fund underlined on Thursday during a press conference. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.